So I am going to demonstrate the wiggler effect. And first thing I want to do is make sure that I can see the wiggler over here. And so if you notice in the workspace, I'm going to change the workspace to all panels. And I now see the wiggler over here. But another place where you could find it is if you go under Window. These are all those different things that we saw in all panels. So if you want to just select that one thing, you could select Wiggler, and now Wiggler is over here. So what I'm going to do first is create a new composition. And I'm going to call this Wiggler. Alright, and I'm just going to create a little bit of text. And I'll click on the text button. Notice that made this active over here, and I'm just going to type in the word nervous. And let's go ahead and just make that a little bit bigger so we can see it. And maybe I'll make it bold. Okay, and let's go ahead and move that here. Okay, I'm going to blow this up, and remember I want you to do a couple things. I want to make sure that the spacing between the letters is even. If you notice that the space between the R and the V are much closer together than the U, the O, and the V. So what I do is make sure that text tool is selected, click between the letters, and I'm holding down Option and pushing the arrow key just a little bit. Alright, and let's go over to the next one. That looks pretty good. Okay, and now let's just zoom out a little bit. And let's go back to our arrow tool so that it's not stuck in the text world. And take a look down here. You can see that I now have nervous as a layer on my timeline. And I'm going to twirl down the little transformation and select the keyframe for position. Notice it made a keyframe at the beginning, and I'm going to move it up, I don't know, just a few seconds. Let's move it to like 7 seconds in, and I'm just going to move this around someplace. And now you're going to see that I've got two keyframes here. Now I'm going to hit the letter N to close, to make this be my work area. And with the wiggler, you have to have more than one keyframe selected. So a selected keyframe is blue. Alright, you can either shift select to get more than one keyframe selected, but a quick way is to click on the word position, and that will automatically select both keyframes. So now if I come over to the wiggler, you have different tools here where how you want it to behave, but I'm going to leave it alone and maybe make this a jagged kind of noise movement. Frequency represents how often it's going to move within these two keyframes. Magnitude is how much. And so I'm going to just kind of randomly try a few different things. I hit apply. And now when I hit the space bar, we can kind of see what it looks like. That's pretty good. And so what I want to do also is I want to add a little bit of a motion blur. So I turn on the motion blur and then I activate it in this layer. And so now let's see how it's looking. Much more nervous. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, and that is the wiggler.